Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Royal Oak Shrine High School. It is Saturday, May the 18th. It is Championship Saturday for the Catholic League, and you're watching the St. Anne Catholic League Championship game live on the Michigan Soccer Network. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrat. We are in the home stretch, Dan, as this is game number 3 of this championship set. And we're excited to have this matchup between Sacred Heart and Allen Park Cabrini live on the Michigan Soccer Network. And Dan, we've been in for a treat here so far today as both of these games, Dan, both, have been good. So we're expecting a good one here again in this third game. We'll call this the rubber match. That's what we'll call this game, as they do typically in baseball. They'll say the third game of a series is the rubber match, but this is the third game of our series here today, so we'll call this the rubber match. But either way, Sacred Heart coming in and taking on Cabrini here in this matchup. Sacred Heart 11-5-1 on the season. They are coached by Damian Herman. And you got Cabrini, Allen Park, 9-3-2. They're coached by Ryan John, and they are rolling here as well. They won last night over Austin Catholic.
Yeah, in Cabrini, they lost their sole intersexual division game of the year to Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. So Cabrini trying to gain a measure of revenge in today's title game. This is the newly created St. Anne Tournament Championship. And what a story about Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. For those who don't know, they were actually part of Clarkson Everett's collegiate team, kind of a unified program the last several years. Before that, Clarkson Everett's Collegiate was part of the team at Waterford Our Lady of the Lakes. They actually got to 3 state finals with that group, but Sacred Heart had enough players in its building to split off this year with their own team. So first season, they went 6-0-0 in conference play. They won the intersectional division undefeated in their very first year as a solo program. So the Gazelles are truly off and running in their debut campaign, and they have a chance to win their first Catholic League tournament title in school history. Cabrini's been here before. In the Cardinal tournament, they've lost 3 times. From 2013 to 2015, they were your runner-up. This is the first time the Catholic League has split up into 3 different tournaments. It's a way to give some of the smaller programs a chance to play on the final day of the Catholic League season. And this should be a good matchup. Both these programs are up and coming, both well over 500. They were the top 2 seeds in this tournament, finishing first and second in the intersectional division. So here they go for the St. Anne Tournament Championship. The Monarchs are in Gazelles. Not that far away, as the third game set will be complete here in a couple hours. So which school will win their first Catholic League Championship tournament here today in this division? We saw Farmington Hills Mercy end a 31-year drought in the Bishop Tournament. They won 3 straight from 1991 to 93. And Orchard Lake St. Mary's defeated Macomb Lutheran North 3-1 in Game 2. That was the Cardinal Tournament Championship. St. Mary's just a third-year program, taking a Division and Cardinal Tournament Championship trophy back home. And then Cabrini and Sacred Heart. Who will win this matchup? We're just a few minutes away from finding out. Beautiful day at Royal Oak Shrine, but great day for 3 games. Great day to showcase the talent in the Catholic High School League.
No question about that, Dan. I'll let you go there for a minute, man. I don't think you've talked that much in your entire history on our platform, so that was a good time.
It's been a great day, too. I mean, it's perfect outside. If you are a fan of high school sports, this is championship season. You know, a lot of conference tournaments are being decided this past week or on Monday across the state. This is the weekend of the girls tennis and boys and girls track and field regionals, taking place all over the state of Michigan. This upcoming Wednesday through Friday, we will see the pre-districts of the MHSA Girls Soccer State Tournament. And then after Memorial Day weekend, we'll be in the final 2.5 weeks of the spring sports season, the school year in general. Will any of these teams be able to make deep runs into the postseason? It all starts next Wednesday, but they have some unfinished business here today. Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart trying to put up a perfect season in their first year as a solo program. Or will Allen Park Cabrini revenge an earlier loss to the Gazelles, take home the St. Anne Tournament Championship?
That's right. We've already seen 2 trophies be presented and hoisted into the air already today. There's still a 3rd one awaiting. And we're going to bring you the St. Anne Championship game coming up next on the Michigan Soccer Network. Don't go anywhere. Be back. Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75. Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75. Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click. Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! And welcome back here into Royal Oak Shrine High School. We are just moments away from the start of this one. We're going to pass this off to the public address announcer here at Royal Oak Shrine.
For this afternoon's Catholic High School League Championship.
We ask all spectators to help our communities from both Allen Park Cabrini and Bloomfield Hills Academy of the Sacred Heart in their efforts to play their game today in the environment of educational athletics. Now let's meet our starters. First, the visiting team, the Monarchs from Cabrini. Number 1, Cassie Coslow. Number 2, Marissa Smith. Number 3, Madeline Glazer. Number 6, Carly Roth. Number 7, Peyton Ike. Number 8, Nicole Teague. Number 9, Madeline Portman. Number 10, Peyton Hall. Number 11, Madison Smith. Number 15, Caitlin Javinsky. In goal, number 22, Isabella Perez. And now the starters for the Gazelles of the Academy of the Sacred Heart. Number 1, Josephine Jackson. Number 2, Magnolia Marsh. Number 4, Luciana Palazzo. Number 5, Perla. Number 8, El Martin. Cedra Abdo. Number 26, Reese Martin. Number 42, Alexa Ross. Number 44, Claire Tapor. Number 91, Morgan McDowell. Goal number 23, Catherine Pugh. We ask all that are able at this time to please stand. As is our tradition in the Catholic League, we pause together to pray the Lord's Prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. We ask you to please remain standing, gentlemen, remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Beautiful rendition there of the national anthem as we're just moments away here from the start of this third and final championship match here today. As, again, moments away as a referee crew having their final moments here before the start of this match. And Dan, expectations for this one?
It'll be the first championship in the Catholic League tournament for either side, so both teams are looking ahead to possibly hoisting a trophy later this afternoon. Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart, we talked about them in the pregame. First year as a solo program, they split off from Clarkson Everest Collegiate. This school year, brought a couple of very talented players over. They had enough, their student body, to have their sole team. But Allen Park Cabrini lost 3 times from 2013 to 2015 in the Catholic League final. That was in the Cardinal tournament. So they're looking for a revenge. They lost the mid-April game 3-2 to the Gazelles. They would love nothing more to gain a victory here and hoist the tournament championship trophy at Royal Oak Shrine. Now, Cabrini actually won last night in the tournament semifinals. They beat Chesterfield Township, Austin Catholic. That game is not on MHSA.com. The result is not on the Catholic League website. I have gone up and down Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, unable to find a final score. So, but they are now 10-3-2 on the year. Sacred Heart, according to the MHSA.com, is 9-4. Two evenly matched teams set to square off here. Third game of the 3-game set. First time ever the Catholic League has hosted 3 tournament championship games. All in one day, all in one site, Royal Oak Shrine. It's a pleasure to help call this game for the Michigan Soccer Network.
And there we are. We are officially underway here with the St. Anne Championship game here on the Michigan Soccer Network. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrat as Sacred Heart are in the blue kits going right to left on your screen. Actually, I think that's wrong, Dan. I think actually in blue is actually
Cabrini, because Cabrini's number 2 seed. We've seen the dark.
Yeah, yep. So we're going to make a change to the scoreboard. We apologize for that. We'll make the adjustment now. Kind of how that works. So we apologize. As Cabrini is in the blue kits.
You know, what a storyline for all 3 of these Catholic High School League games. I mean, Farmington Hills Mercy won their first title in 31 years as the number 2 seed heading in. Orchard Lake St. Mary's won their first ever division championship, and they came back and won the Cardinal Tournament Championship, just their 3rd year as a program.
And just like that, though, a free kick is called just outside the 18. So a dangerous kick opportunity coming up here now for Sacred Heart, as they're just outside the 18, and they're going to be taken by number 3. That does not look. Is that like number 3? Yeah, we might again. So the home side is they're saying is Sacred Heart. In the dark kits. So this actually is going to be Cabrini taking this in the white kits, as we talked about, right? So the white kits are, in fact, Cabrini's Sacred Heart in the dark kits, as we originally thought it was going to be the case. So it is, in fact, Cabrini in the white kits. As this ball poked away. So we'll adjust this again, Dan. It's okay, though. We can make it work. It's kind of how it flows.
Again, not a lot of information given to us by the Catholic League or from either school. You know, back early in the season, I worked diligently trying to do team capsules for 460 schools. Did not hear from hardly anybody in that entire 3rd division, the intersectional division of the Catholic League.
This ball kind of skirts in, and then still fighting hard. Ball bouncing around. It's now cleared up just outside the 18. It's settled down, and now finally cleared away. So Cabrini here is showing early in the early going of this one. They came to play. That was Paitlin Hawes, the forward midfielder. Madison Smith looking inside. Jebzensky. And now Sacred Heart up towards midfield. Ball thrown in by Nina Pizzo. This shot goes wide of frame. Next, they're going to say it's a corner kick. So the first corner kick here of the afternoon. In favor of Sacred Heart. Morgan McNally will take this. All kicked in.
McNally was actually an all-state player last year when she played for the unified team with Clarkson, Everest Collegiate, and Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. Now that they have their own team, she slid over.
Magnolia Marsh, and this one now cleared away. Still stays on the pitch, now knocked out for a throw-in. This ball shot towards that near post. It goes wide and out for a goal kick.
Gotta love the jersey number for Morgan McNally. Wearing number 91 today. I don't know if I've ever seen that in the sport of soccer.
A 91?
Yeah, I mean...
I've seen 99. I've seen 100.
Have you?
Yeah. Not a big fan of the triple digits, but to each their own.
I mean, generally numbers are usually 1 through 30 by and large in most parts. When you get to the MHSA tournament, which starts this upcoming Wednesday, you're only allowed to dress 25 players per game. A lot of times you see your goalkeepers wearing, 1, 0, and 00, and then the field players going from 2 on up.
Ball kind of pops up. Fighting hard. Now here comes Cabrini. The shot towards that far post. Diving down to her left is the goalkeeper in Catherine Pugh, number 23. Ollie Martin. It's now Madison Smith. Trebzinski looks to slot this across, looking for number 6, Carly Roth, junior midfielder for Cabrini. Again, you mentioned coming in that they're 10-3-2 this season, taking on Sacred Heart, who's 11-5-1. Ball goes out for a throw-in. Just outside the top of the 18. Hawes into the 18. Kozlow. Looking for Trzecki. Gets a corner. So the first quarter match coming up here for either side is Caitlin Trebzinski draws the corner.
So first corner of the match for Ellen Parker Cabrini. 9th minute. We're still at a 0-0 stalemate. Cabrini holding a 1-0 shot advantage so far.
Ball comes in. A good head off that far post. So Carly Roth gets a head on it. And she's shaking her head going, I wish that would have been a little further in.
Just a couple inches shy. I mean, that's a little bit to the left. That curtails off the post into the back of the net. Sacred Heart just inches away from finding themselves in a 1-0 hole. The goalpost became their friend on that opportunity.
settled down. So now he's thrown in by Aaron DePore.
For those of you watching, we do have a comment board on our YouTube channel if you want to like and subscribe us. And also, please comment on the final score last night between Allen Parker Cabrini and Chesterfield Township, Austin Catholic.
See on that far side, Carly Roth fighting and battling. Earns another corner kick here. Nope, sorry, I said goal kick. So Morgan McNally will take this goal kick. So 11 minutes into this game, it's 0-0. We saw a 3-1 game in favor of Mercy over Cranbrook back in that game number 1. And then back in game number 2 in the Cardinal Championship, it was a 3-0. So a 3-1 victory in favor of the Orchard Lake St. Mary's over the Mustangs. So interesting to see what will happen in this game. It's 3-1 so far. 3-1, 3-1, right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
See if this falls into a similar pattern.
I said goals were going to be a premium. Like, I've been wrong all day.
You saw Farmington Hills Mercy. They only scored 24 goals all season hanging in the match. They tucked 3 in the back of the net against Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood and a 31-year drought in terms of Catholic League Tournament Championships. And then Orchard Lake St. Mary's foul with a 3-1 victory over Macomb Lutheran North, a pair of top 15 teams in the state rankings.
McNally.
A lot of storylines today. Again, these two teams neither won a Catholic League title as well.
Looking to chase this one down is Martin. Can't quite get there. One back, though, by Sacred Heart is Ross. Now McNally. McNally puts a left-footed boot into it. That one will go well wide. Isabella Perez is the goalkeeper today for Cabrini. So Martin looks to get through 2 defenders. Court right. Now Marsh. All over the top. Running into that and getting it first is Perez. It was Reese Martin who was there, the sophomore, for Sacred Heart.
Both teams coming in with 6 shutouts, according to HSAA.com. That is without last night's contest with Cabrini beating Austin Catholic. Still unable to find the final result of that game, other than the fact that Cabrini advanced.
Jabzensky. This one put up and make its way out. Supposed to have 5 games here today. We only going to end up having 4 in total. 3 here today out at Royal Oak Shrine High School for the Catholic League Finals. And then tonight, a UPSL Game of the Week matchup between Allianz FC and Dearborn United. That game kicks off at 8 p.m. Eastern. Nathan Wangler on the call here this evening. The foul just called by the center referee. Not happy is Alexa Ross. The 5th game that was supposed to happen tonight was the NISA matchup of Michigan Stars taking on Club de Leon. But they did not make the trip, so the game not canceled, postponed. Just been put back across into the 18. Ball still inside the 18, finally kind of poked away by Josephine Jackson. It's now Ross looking to dribble past the defender in court right. Ball over the top. Now Martin running onto it. Martin will look to get a touch. Takes her time. Top of the 18. Looks to fire one. Great slide tackle as now Perez will come over to pick it up. But all alone was number 8, Elle Martin, the freshman. But unable to get a clear shot on goal. Ball put into the 18. Covered up there by the goalkeeper and Catherine Pugh. So throw-in coming up. Thrown in by Nicole Teed. Teed will throw this one back in. Ball kind of deflects towards top of the 18. Jebzensky, now this one put in from far distance, and that one goes in. And just like that, Cabrini off the foot of Madison Smith, and it's 1-0.
Smith kind of corralled the ball about 30 yards out. She turned and fired. High shot just underneath the crossbar. So third shot attempt by Cabrini finds the back of the net. Right at the 16-15 into the match. So Cabrini, which dropped a 3-2 decision about a month ago to Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart, finds himself in the driver's seat right now. 1-0 advantage here in the St. Anne Tournament Championship game of the Catholic High School League.
So just like that, it's 1-0 off of Madison Smith. Shot from about 30 yards out. Settled down. Right back to Smith. He's looking there for Cully Roth.
So not counting last night's game against Austin Catholic, Ellen Parker Cabrini came in tonight with 6 shutouts and a 55-16 scoring advantage. That final score is not on the Catholic League website anywhere, not on MHSA.com, and I've combed through quite a few social media platforms unable to find that score. And Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart, first season, 52-29 scoring advantage, 6 shutouts of themselves. So these were the top 2 teams in the intersectional division this season. Sacred Heart going 6-0 and Cabrini 5-1. So the second and third games today see the top 2 seeds making their way to the final. The first game, number 2 seeded Mercy played 4 seeded, Cranbrook Kingswood in that match. Orchard Lake St. Mary's and Macomb Lutheran North squared off as the top 2 seeds there.
McNally. Glazer. Back to Glazer. Now looking for Roth. Ball kind of skirts in, top of the 18. Played out and throwing on that far side. So 19 minutes in, a 17th minute goal from Madison Smith here just a few moments ago. They're up 1-0 over Sacred Heart. You're watching 2024 Catholic League Championship games here on the Michigan Soccer Network. Jonathan Turner, Dan Stickerat on the call here this afternoon as Smith gets the ball back. Looking to play it up over the top. Looking there for Jabzinski. Jabzinski pulls it back. Good defensive work, but she keeps fighting and battling there on that far side.
Mark Cabrini has that 1-0 advantage on Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. The goal came courtesy of Madison Smith in the 17th minute. Cabrini leads 1-0, has a 3-1 shots advantage so far in this game.
Ball popped up. Still inside the 18. Try to be settled down there by Hawes. It's now Martin.
Sacred Heart playing around the ball inside the box. You just need to turn and clear it. Not doing a good job of putting the ball out of harm's way as Cabrini continues to attack in the final third of the field.
Smith puts it back in the mix. That one deflects, still inside the 18. Again, having a hard time clearing it out of the 18. Is a shot from distance once again, and this one goes wide.
Just picked up a text message from a fellow sports writer. Looks like Cabrini won that game last night 5-0.
Checking in for the Monarchs, number 9, Madeline Portman.
Settle down. That was Portman. Now Roth. McNally. Good little touch, but again, right now, Cabrini continuing to press. This ball inside of the 18, deflected actually off of the defender in Palizzetti. But Pugh was right there for Sacred Heart. Just continued pressure here as we're just past the halfway point here of this first half. Half number 5 of our 6 halves here from Royal Oak Shrine High School.
Not a lot of chances so far, but Ellen Barker-Beatty was able to find the back of the net in the 17th minute.
DePore will chase this one down, knock it out. Coming up here later this evening will be the UPSL game of the week as this ball bounces into the 18 and a miss, but now cleared away by Nina Batra. Put right back in, and again, just having a hard time clearing the ball is Sacred Heart. Tomorrow night will be a 2-game doubleheader for us tomorrow night. 5:30, we'll be doing our first ever Women's Premier Soccer League matchup as Corktown Women's Football Club taking on the Columbus Eagles. Live from Wisner Stadium in Pontiac. And then at 7:30, we begin our game number 2 as Inter Detroit welcomes in the Ypsi Yetis. Call home in Ypsilanti, Michigan, I assume. In the Midwest Premier League game. Last night we covered the Michigan Stars as they welcomed in Liquid Football in the Midwest Premier League matchup. That game was shortened due to a serious injury from one of the players on Liquid Football. Matter of fact, a lot of the games last night in the Midwest Premier League did not complete. Livonia City FC getting their first home match of the season welcoming in Cedars. That game was postponed due to lightning at halftime. Cedars was up 1-0. All settled down, put into the 18. That was from Alexa Ross, right into the hands of Isabella Perez.
Great opportunity for Cabrini.
As Portman, good defensive work, kept on the pitch for the time being, but given right back to Cabrini. As you see, Inabatra earns a throw-in. Got a busy week next week. Wednesday, we're out Wednesday afternoon at 11 a.m. So no MSN Live coming up this week. We'll be out at Flint City Box for their afternoon game. Not afternoon, more like their morning matinee game as they welcome in all the kids. They'll have 6,000 kids on Wednesday morning out at Atwood Stadium. Game will be available here live on the Michigan Soccer Network at 11 o'clock Eastern as they take on Union Macomb FC. In their inaugural season, we're their official broadcast partner for all of their home games coming up here starting in June. Here we are, 26 minutes, the 17th minute goal from Cabrini and Madison Smith. All the difference in this one in the early going.
So Sacred Heart trying to generate some type of offensive flow. They've had a hard time clearing the ball out of their half of the field. Only have had one shot this whole first half as we're in the 27th minute. Cabrini holds a 4-1 shot advantage, and they do have the one tally that matters most, which is on the scoreboard. They're 1-0 advantage here. Goal came in about 16-15 into the game.
So McNally finds Marsh. This ball put across right down by the end line, and it will go out for a goal kick. So Royal Oak Shrine's been a great host here today for these Catholic League finals. They've been here all morning and all afternoon. Have the staff been from the Catholic League as well as Royal Oak Shrine and all the participating schools. So on that first matchup, Mercy winning 3-1 over Cranbrook Kingswood in the Bishop Championship match, and then in game number 2, Orchard Lake St. Mary's winning 3-1 over Macomb Lutheran North, claiming their first ever Cardinal Championship in school history. They've only been in existence for 3 years. Good battle on this near side. Good work by Josephine Jackson defensively for Sacred Heart. Marsh, good battle.
We talked about Farmington Hills Mercy. You know, they won that Bishop tournament this morning. They hadn't won a conference tournament title since the early 1990s. Back then, there was only one tournament for the entire Catholic League. There wasn't as many schools that sponsor girls soccer back in the early 90s. It's growing into, 3 divisions now. 3 separate tournaments for the first time, so the sport has continued to thrive and grow in the Catholic High School League here in suburban Detroit. But it gives some of these smaller schools, these a chance to compete, for a tournament championship, which is a great prelude to the state tournament. Especially if this game were to, go to double overtime or shootout, be able to play in that type of a pressure situation before the state tournament. We did not see that happen in the first two games. They both ended in regulation, 3-1 victories for Fremden Hills Mercy in the Bishop and Orchard Lake St. Mary's in the Cardinal. But in theory, these games could have gone to overtime. They could have gone to shootouts, and it's just a great prelude to the state tournament. Especially if you're a player that hasn't had a lot of times in their lives where they've played in games that reached a shootout or at least double overtime.
All played up. Out comes Pugh. So slide over, make the grab. Portman on the ball. Finds the goal scorer in Smith. Looking back to go to Portman, and that one's cleared away. Just wishing Keith Jeffries a congratulations. He goes, hell of a year for both programs as he's talking about both the boys and the girls programs. Job's not finished, though. So winning the Catholic League here today, both these teams will take a couple days to recover. All the teams here from today will take a couple days to recover, and then they get ready for their district matchups here starting next week. So the first week, the first games of the district begin here on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Opening rounds.
And some schools will play either tournament championships or non-conference games on Monday and Tuesday, but I've noticed like last year that was fewer and far between, as most teams, their conference races are already settled. They know their rotations. They know what players they're bringing up for the state tournament from their junior varsity. They don't want to risk injury. But there are some games on Monday and Tuesday, non-conference. And a few conferences actually will be decided on Monday.
A number of champions have been crowned already in conferences across the state of Michigan. We've seen the OA Red and Troy High. In the white, I believe it was Clarkston.
Utica Ford clinched the MAC white last night, third year in a row.
You got Utica Eisenhower clinched for the second year in a row, the MAC Red.
Midland Dow won their third straight Saginaw Valley League. Portage Central won the Southwestern Michigan Athletic Conference. Seen lots of teams crowning their conference champions here the last
Trenton
year.
won Downriver.
Trenton went unbeaten in the Downriver League. New Boston Huron, first time in school history they have ever won a conference championship in girls soccer. They won the Huron League. They beat longtime nemesis and powerhouse Grosse Ile the other day.
Hard collision right there at midfield. Looked as though Luciana Plazetti colliding there with Roth.
Hats off the Mason Bulldogs out in the Lansing area. They won the gold tournament championship. They were actually the Capital Area Athletic Conference regular season champs in the CAC Red Division. They went on to the upper bracket of their three-division tournament and crowned champions here on Friday night. Rockford High School had a chance to talk to Stu Quackenbush. They're the only undefeated team remaining in Division I. They were the second seed. They won the Ottawa-Kent Conference Red Division Tournament Championship as the number 2 seed, which gave them the overall crown. Ironically, top-ranked Hudsonville is upset in the semis. Hudsonville ended up sitting second in their conference overall by a point behind Rockford. And a chance to talk to Mid-Michigan Athletic Conference champion Ovid Elsey and their coach Jerome White here last week. Did a nice piece on Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and Keith Jeffries done a great job in 3 years at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. We saw their game earlier this afternoon. So teams all over the state wrapping up conference, titles as they get ready for their potential long state tournament runs.
Yeah, we do a lot of these games. Obviously, we've covered the Catholic League now. This is the second consecutive year we've covered both girls and boys Catholic League finals, and we cover high school soccer games all across the state of Michigan. We've been doing that now for the last 4 years, and every year I start to realize, because I've been involved in the soccer community for such a long time, you as well. I find it hard to believe that I cannot figure out for the life of me who these 4 referees are. I've never seen any of these referees, and we've been calling games for. I mean, we go to games and we're like, "Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing? How you doing?" And we see all these refs. We know them by name. They're usually well received. I do not recognize one single referee today from any of these games. And that's not meant to be a negative. I'm just saying that we typically know we go out, we're like high-fiving them. They're, it's warm regards. It's, hey, Justin, hey, Jason, hey, how you doing, right? And I can't put a finger on the 4 officials who are in this match today. So,
yeah, I've had a chance to working in the media now for, I think, 31 years. I've had a chance to meet, thousands of officials in different sports, and I know a lot of them, but yeah, I'm looking at these officials today. I don't really recognize anyone as well.
So Ross looks to slot this one across. No one there as it goes through all the way through traffic. It's Danny Garrett just chiming in, says, hopefully that's a good sign you don't recognize the refs. Maybe that means that the bench is increasing. We need more refs out there. It is true. That is a good it's a good statement to make. And we joke around about the referees that we do know, not the refs in general. And that's a great point, and hopefully that is the case. And I think too is as we do a lot of, especially in more recent years, a lot of more higher level games. Out comes the goalkeeper and Perez and leaves the goal wide open, and just like that, it's 1-1. My goodness, Dan, Perez comes out. She comes out to try and clear that ball, and just like that, Magnolia Marsh finds a way to pull one past her into the open net. It's now 1-1.
Just a great opportunity. The goalkeeper makes a mistake. Magnolia Marsh is a freshman. She saw the open net. She was able to slot it right through the spine of the goal. Just like that, we're tied up. That was actually just Sacred Heart's second shot of the match, first on frame. And they're able to tie this up just a few minutes before the halftime break. Cabrini's been the more dangerous side throughout the first half. They've had a lot of the possession, far more chances, controlling play, but just a key mistake in the backfield, and just like that, it's a tie game.
And we talk about it all the time. I mean, for most of this game, Sacred Heart has been on their heels. And, Cabrini has really been taking it to him. And all it takes is just one defensive miscue, one moment, and you can get yourself right back into a game. And that's the beauty and the ugliness of soccer. As Roth now will take a shot from distance as she slips on her way to taking the shot. Gotta say, though, Danny Garrett is a Livonia City FC fan through and through. Big fan of the Midwest Premier League. I out on social media, Wheaties Fanatic is what he's known for. They did a great story on Danny Garrett. Did the coffee firm and what he does as a fan of Livonia City FC, and he's a good dude in Danny Garrett. Been a long-time fan of the Michigan Soccer Network. We're very much appreciative of him stopping by and adding in his comments here. We appreciate that very much. Livonia City actually last night went out and played. We talked about this. It was a lightning shortened game out in Farmington at the Hawk. They were down 1-0 going into the halftime break. Mother Nature had other things in store. We've seen that before, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, I can only begin to talk about some of the events I've covered in my career where multiple hour delays with rain, game cancellations. I've sat through events where it's snowing and sleeting out, football games. I went to a cross-country finals back in the 1990s, and it was snowing like crazy. I mean, you had a hard time seeing the athletes from a couple hundred yards away.
Yeah. And we talk about this. We talk about the first two games. We're not currently at Royal Oak Shrine. We're actually sitting in our studios here in Shelby Township, Michigan, remotely covering this game just because of the room in the press box at Royal Oak Shrine. Just not enough room, and we want to make sure we're able to get these games off without any type of inconvenience for anyone on site. So our camera operator's up on top, and we're calling these games from our air-conditioned press box. This one headed in, and just like that, it's 2-1. And a head there coming from Caitlin Jabzneski. And just like that, it's 2-1.
Perfectly slotted ball right in the center of the box. Gazesi was able to head it home. So they regain that lead here in the final minute of the first half. Looked like that was served up from sophomore Natalie Cartwright.
So just like that, again, moments. It comes down to moments as Marsh now will make her way down. Puts this one across for Perez. Last minute of this first half. The beauty of our technology allows us to do things differently. It also allows the teams and our customers to be able to still get coverage without having to worry about as much of the cost, because we talk about this, Dan, all the time. There's a cost associated with what we do. And, us coming and bringing our crew and all of our equipment, all those things can add more cost and more of an investment to the teams in question. So us being able to sit in our studios, air conditioning allows us and our crews to do things on a more efficient level. So there is the end of the first half. And Dan, we talk about this, hey, it's a very interesting first half, as for a good chunk of it, it was 0-0, and then in the 17th minute, they find a way. Madison Smith does, from about 30-plus yards out, gets up 1-0, and then Magnolia Marsh on a defensive miscue causes this game to equalize one apiece, and then just a few moments later, you get Caitlin Jabzneski off a corner. It's 2-1 going into the halftime break.
Yeah, and there wasn't a ton of chances either side. Cabrini has a 6-2 shots advantage, 3-1 on frame, but those three chances, they put two in the back of the net. They did have the defensive miscue, which allowed Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart to tie it at 1-1. But they marched right back down and took the lead just within the last minute of the first half. And that's where we stand heading into the halftime break.
That's right. That's where we stand. It's 2-1 here in favor of Allen Park Cabrini, looking to get their first championship, as well as Sacred Heart looking to get their first. It's a day of firsts here on the Michigan Soccer Network, and we're excited to have you along. Will Cabrini finish this game out and come away with a victory, or will Sacred Heart find a way to come back and take home a championship of their own? We'll find out after this. Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! Granite City Food and Brewery has two Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Granite City Food and Brewery has 2 Michigan locations in Troy and Northville. Serves made-from-scratch food, brews in-house beer, and even has brunch every Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. To learn more about their daily specials or to book a private party, visit gcfb.com. Make sure you head over to Granite City in Northville at the corner of 7 Mile and Haggerty, or the Troy location at 16 Mile and I-75.
Are you looking to play at the next level? MSN is now offering player recruitment videos. We are excited to partner with you and your family in getting you to the next level. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Now Worrell has a good cutback from him. He'll fire one, and that's going to go in! Northwestern is up from 12, now at 10.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
Are you looking to take your game to the next level? Did you know that MSN is now offering player recruitment videos? Our packages include a player profile where you show your preferred positions, the club, the league, or school that you play in, your current coach contact information, and more. The highlight videos could be self-submitted, 15 to 30 clips that will be put into a 3 to 7 minute long video. Video review of your Huddle, VO, or other platforms that you might have video on, as well as for an additional charge, MSN can come out and film games for you to create those clips. Our coach evaluation process, which is also an additional charge, where we have college coaches from various levels across the United States that will review your game film and provide feedback on how to improve that film, as well as also evaluating your play and what you can improve on. To learn more about our packages and what we offer, head over to the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com. Remember, your journey starts with a click.
Our mission is to help players take their game to the next level and reach their potential. Not only do we help develop fundamental technical skills such as ball control in tight spaces with different surfaces, dribbling at speed and changing direction, using a variety of 1v1 skills to create space, receiving on a half turn, hook turn, and out of the air, finishing off the dribbling, one-touch, volleys, and headers. We help players get comfortable performing these skills at game speed with pressure and with both their dominant and non-dominant foot. In addition, we help players with their speed of play, awareness of space, defenders and teammates, and also dominate with their off-the-ball movement. We offer a variety of services such as one-on-ones, small groups, large groups, as well as team sessions. We have an experienced coaching staff that is professional, friendly, patient, while still holding players to high standards and holding them accountable. No matter what level you're at as a player, I'm confident we can help you get better. Over the past 3 years, we've built one of the best soccer-specific training facilities in the country and developed one of the most detail-oriented programs to help out players. Visit our website.
And welcome back here into Royal Oak Shrine High School, just moments away from the start of this second half here as teams are back on the field. And we are back ready to go as referee gets ready to blow his whistle. And there we go. We are back underway with the second half as Allen Park Cabrini in the all-white kits going left to right on your screen now, and Sacred Heart in the all-blue kits going left to right. It's 2-1 here in favor of Cabrini. Dan and I were just having a conversation. I asked the question because this is Dan's first time calling remote games. First time. And this is not my first time. I think I've done probably close to 20 of these now. And it is unique because, normally you can get excited, right? There's no crowd in front of us. There's not people around us. I mean, there's some nuances to being on site at a game. I will say this much. When you're looking right at the screen here with no glare from press box lights or anything else, it is easier to see the field of play. But with that being said, I understand why it might not be, the best to call games sitting from our air-conditioned studios in Shelby Township, Dan. No thoughts?
It's bizarre, It's just I've never done it this way before. But
just because
in the broadcast world, it's becoming more commonplace. around the country. You cut down on travel costs. Or sometimes if you're doing multiple games in a day at different locations, it's impossible to, travel from one site to another, but we can still get games done. Having different members of our crew call games from remote locations.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Again, you're right. There's the cost side of this, and I talked about that right before the goal went in for Cabrini, as that was headed in here just before the halftime break. The thing I would say is that one of the biggest conversations that we have, we know that football, basketball is, here comes Roth. Look, Roth gets a touch, take a shot off the woodwork. And just again, Roth goes down hard, no foul call, but she had a clear shot on goal, and that hits off the crossbar.
You saw Sacred Heart starting to combine on some passes. They had a hard time in the first half, but they turned the ball over. A 3-on-2 rush. Just a great opportunity, just a few inches too high, clings off the crossbar. So Cabrini is trying to find a way to extend their lead. They're up 2-1 here in the 3rd minute of the second half, so 43rd minute overall.
But as I go back to this, is that we know that with football and basketball and even baseball, there's more money in the budget from these these schools, the high schools specifically. You start getting into the amateur games, and I was talking with a team yesterday, and they're like, John, there's no money being made in the amateur games. There's just no money. We do these games. We want to get these players an opportunity to compete during the summer, and it's charging admission into games. They go, it just doesn't seem right. So they're like, it's a loser for us to have this, and for us to pay a bunch of money for broadcasting doesn't make sense. So that's where we can be working with the teams. We can work with. It looks as though there might be an injury here, so referee's going to stop the clock. But working with the teams to create a plan for them to utilize their sponsors in our broadcast, while me and you sit in an air conditioned. I keep using the word air conditioned because we go to a lot of press boxes that don't have central air, and it's terrible. So the reality is it's cost effective for the teams. It's efficient for us. It does allow us to do more games because, like I said, today we did 3 games here from our studio. We were supposed to do 4 games in total from the studio. Tomorrow, we have a 5:30 kickoff in Pontiac and a 7:30 kickoff in Waterford. We have 2 crews going out at simultaneous times to set up and do games. We can sit here in our studio and just get ready for each one, and it works out in our favor. So
we'll also be doing the final high school ranking show tomorrow from our studio, so we'll have a few people in here with different tasks at hand.
So just another way for us is I got to, put this one back, the clock back on. That's one thing I keep saying I don't like about a high school game anymore as a broadcaster is you got to hit that button to restart the clock. So, but, remote broadcasting is the future. It's something that's allowing us to expand not only in Michigan but in other states as well as we start to go, more nationwide with what we do. It just allows us to travel to all places. And there's nothing that's ever going to replace us going to an event. We talk about that all the time. There's nothing that's going to replace that. Being at an event, it's completely different than being here in the studio. There's no doubt about that. And it's one of those things that, obviously we're going to have to, over time, those are the growing pains of doing this, but it's fun and exciting in its own right. Because tonight, for example, I'll be at home now, and I will be producing the game from home, my home office. And our Nathan Wenger will be at his home office in Grand Rapids where he'll be calling the game, and I'll be producing it from home. So that's another really cool thing about this too is that we'll be able to give other broadcasters an opportunity who maybe otherwise wouldn't have been able to get out to games. Now they can sit at home and call a game and enjoy the game from their big screen TV. As we are in the 45th minute, it's 2-1, an opportunity here just back in the opening moments of this second half is where you saw Roth, number 6, Carly Roth, nail one off the crossbar.
That's the second time today Roth has taken a shot that rattled off the crossbar.
So the question coming in is, do you guys have communication with? Yes, we do. So during these games, what we do, we utilize a communication app that allows us to touch base with our camera operator who's on site right now. We just have one camera operator out there utilizing our technology, and we communicate. In this scenario, I don't have to do a lot of communication with him just because of the location and what we already have access to. But yes, so we do have on-site communication. This ball put up over the top. Jebzensky, a foul is called. But we use a number of different tools and resources to communicate with our operators. We can do it actually directly through the camera, through technology in the camera. We choose not to use that right now, so we utilize just our cell phones as a resource, either through text message or through a direct call. I'll call our camera operator, Michael Battles, throughout the afternoon, and he's done a great job, as you can tell here. So we'll stop the clock here.
The injury timeout, it looks like.
Michael was actually on site last night at the Midwest Premier League matchup of the Michigan Stars as they took on Liquid Football. So there's a conversation going on right now between the coaching staff of Cabrini. My guess, without really knowing too much about the situation, was that someone from the bench not happy maybe with a no call or the situation of the call. So typically what happens.
So dangerous free kick opportunity coming up for Alan Parker Brini. Just under 30 yards out in front of the goal.
The clock restarted. The shot from distance right towards that near post. And now it's 3-1 off the free kick goal. And just like that, it's a 2-goal lead. Big hugs as that shot coming in from number 3, Madeline Glazer, gets the goal. And now it's 3-1. That goal coming here in the 47th minute, Dan.
So the first shot on frame of the second half finds the back of the net. And now Alan Parker Brini has that 2-goal advantage. They're trying to win their first Catholic League tournament championship here in the St. Anne tournament. And all 3 games we've seen today, at one point or another, had a 3-1 score. The first 2 ended that way. Now we have a 3-1 advantage here early in the second half.
If it ends that way, that's going to be interesting. I'd probably that got to be the first time that's ever happened for in our history.
But I think it's a good thing that they added a third division, because some of these are smaller schools. They're Division IV schools. A lot of these teams aren't ranked. You know, they've played some teams in the AA division, and they haven't had a great result. Those teams are more experienced. You know, bigger programs, more success, more history. This gives a couple more schools at least a chance to come home with some championship hardware here on the final day of the Catholic League season.
So this corner kick now for Sacred Heart. Ball comes in, still loose inside the 18. Turned, looking to take a shot there was Marsh, and that one's finally cleared away and out of danger. On the counter, here comes Cabrini. So Danny Gare was saying it was a tough injury. It was. I mean, you know, so that was a game where, again, we were remote last. Oh, that's a tackle Roth. She's now take a shot from distance towards that goal, and touch by Pugh. And that one goes out for a corner. So a good look there from Roth. Looking to get another goal of her own.
So Cabrini with that 3-1 advantage. Their corner kick of the match. The first of the second half, they have a chance to put this one in the box, see if they can work a little magic and extend their advantage.
So here we are in the 49th minute. It's 3-1. You're going to see Glazer take this free kick. She just scored the goal here back in the 47th. This ball comes in. It's knocked away for another corner. But yeah, I know a lot of conversation came up during social media last night, Dan, about that injury. We saw some concern. We'll talk about this after the corner. I want to get into that a little bit. As here comes the free kick once again from Glazer. Laid back. Top of the 18. Cut back once again. That was Portman, and that one goes out for a throw-in.
Do you think with a lot of these indoor facilities that have been constructed around the state of Michigan, they're great for training? You can play games any time of the year without having to worry about the weather, but the walls are not too far away from the touch lines.
I don't know how much.
Do they need to find a way to pad the walls? I'm asking.
The problem is, to answer your question, yes is probably the answer to that without going into more detail. But I think that just like when we talk about press boxes, nobody sits and gets with a production company and says, "What's the press box layout? What it should be?" I don't think anyone asks, Dan, have you ever been asked in your 30-plus years in this industry of what the press box should be like for a press member?
No, not really. I've had ADs talk about, hey, we're hosting a state final, but I'm talking about you're talking about the construction of. Well,
yeah. So if you're gonna be, again, we've been in every press box basically in Michigan on some level. Okay, everything from being down at Gable Richard, which their press box is made out of, I think, termite-infested wood from the early 1900s, all the way up to one of the best press boxes I've ever been in my entire life, up in Grand Ledge with that brand-new press box they just built. So, again, and they did that in regards to what the MHSAA state finals for boys soccer here this past fall. So we've been in, everything from here to the sun. Atwood Stadium. Atwood Stadium is a great press box. No air conditioning. No central air.
It's huge and it's multiple levels.
Great windows.
But it was built years ago, but you can fit a ton of members of the media. You can have scouts up there. You can broadcast radio, TV, lots of reporters and videographers and photographers. There's plenty of space.
Ball comes in. It's loose now. Shot towards it. Into the mix. Through traffic. Cleared away.
But I've been, over the years, I've been probably 300-400 high schools where I've covered games at, either in the gymnasium or outside in the press box, depending on what sport it is. And, there's still a lot of schools out there that their press boxes are small.
They're not big enough.
They're not big enough. Rochester Adams just built a new one 3 or 4 years ago. That's a Class A high school. In their old press box, you couldn't fit very many people in there at all. You go to a football game for a press box, you figure you got a scoreboard operator, announcer, 2 or 3 spotters. You have the coaching staffs up there, and then you're trying to figure out a way to get a broadcast team and a bunch, 4, 5, 6 reporters. Photographers want to be able to upload their videos at halftime or after the game. But most schools, they don't have that kind of working space in the press box.
And to be fair, you can go to a school like Stony Creek, and their press box is about the size of our overall room that we're in right now, as far as how deep it is. But there's not enough, to be fair, there's way too much space, but not enough space near the windows where you actually want to watch the game.
No, they have a giant open ledge outside, but there is no press seating for football games. Yeah. There's not one single seat available for the press. And again, that's a Class A school. Yeah, it looks great from outside.
No, yeah. So it has nothing to do with what we were talking about in regards to fields and being indoor stadiums. But the reason why I say that is that it all comes down to money, right? The extra 3 feet. The extra 3 or 4 feet needed to have proper clearance in a field environment like the one at the Michigan Stars complex would probably cost an extra $200,000. Right? That's my guess. I can't speak of the actual number, but player down, we got to probably stop the clock. But the reason why I say that is that it comes down to money. Now, granted, I'd imagine a player who hits their head on a wall 3 feet off or 4 feet off the field liability-wise, lawsuit-wise, is probably way more than $200,000 in the long run. Right. But that's insurance companies, and that's a whole other level of stuff. But, you know, hey, we had these conversations all the time. Look at the field defense line. The fence line right now here at Royal Oak Shrine is probably from the yellow line is at least 8 yards, is my guess. On the sideline, it's probably a little closer on the back end by the end of the field. So you're maybe looking more like 5 or 6 yards on the back end. Okay, that's enough space for players to finish their run. You know what I mean? You're talking under 5 yards for grown men. That's not enough. That's not enough distance. So, and not to mention, in between the walls are the pillars. So in some areas, it's not 5 feet or however many feet it would be. It's probably more like 4 feet because of those pillars.
Right,
so,
those steel pillars, and they're not guarded by pads. Because if you go into a gymnasium or field house, the brick walls behind the baskets, most schools are generally padded, and the ones that aren't padded eventually get them padded because of an injury.
Yeah.
You're not, some player goes up for a layup, gets cracked, and pushed into a brick wall. And
to be fair, pads. those pads are strictly designed to prevent what happened last night.
Correct.
To the player where he cracked his head open, and again, don't know the full extent. Clearly, he was taken away in an ambulance. It was a head injury. But to be fair, in that environment, if you were to go head first into it, it's just like in hockey. If you were to go head first into a wall, into a board, you're wearing a helmet. It doesn't change the fact that you might still get a head injury that is not one in which you're bleeding everywhere. You can break your neck, things like that. So those types of things aren't going to prevent that. They're just going to stop the ones that you might cut yourself or might create some blunt force trauma. That's ultimately what can happen in those environments, regardless of padding. But I think that again, you start talking about safety, it comes down to dollars, right? I mean, it comes down to dollars and cents. Right now, obviously, if you're tuning in, you're watching an injury here that just took place on the field. We're not injury here, nothing like what we saw last night in the Michigan Stars game. The leagues, to be fair, I don't know how leagues are verifying anything. If you look at the Midwest Premier League and the UPSL, there's a lot of insurance that goes on between those teams. You know what I mean? And you start to ask yourself some questions about that. And I don't know how many of these leagues, obviously the high school is completely different. That's managed by the MHSAA, and every single high school field in the state of Michigan is regulated by the high school governing bodies. We're back underway here now at Royal Oak Shrine High School. But these leagues, I don't know how much verification goes because every field is different, and most of these games are being taken place at high school fields. Michigan Star Soccer Complex is a different animal all on its own. So we got a free kick here inside the 18. It's indirect now here in favor of Cabrini. So he's going to walk this wall back. 54th minute. We just saw a goal here a few moments ago from Madeline Glazer back in the 47th on a free kick. She's going to pass this one far post, looking for the head there of Jasinski. Then a rebound by Hawes actually hits into the defender for Sacred Heart. Now she goes into the corner, and are we doing a delay right now?
She's just doing a little dance in the corner. And that was look. Now she's dancing on the sideline. Hey, if you want to name this dance, the spotlight is for you.
She's still doing it. You know what? You're up 2 goals. That was not a. I was just saying that did not look like a good throw by Roth, but
Peyton Hawes doing the Monarch Shuffle, I guess, down there in the northeast corner of the field.
That was an interesting looking throw. Hawes now back on the ball. Let's see if she does any more dancing along the sideline and end line. You got to have fun while you're playing, right? And it's always fun when you're up. Just chasing this down, and now in possession is Ross and Sacred Heart. A little shove there at the end. But, again, you think about this too, and Medina University last year, where Goldstone, this is what Danny Garrett just brought up, Medina University, NISA involved with that. They came in and they tested the turf for concussion testing, and it came back, it didn't pass. They had to put more pellets in the area. And who knows how these tests are done? I mean, everything I look at today, Dan, the reason it's in place is because there's a need and there's also money to be made. Right? I mean, think about that. You have all these environments now where you have to get regulated. Then, why is there regulation? Well, now you have to have regulators. So there's a law, there's legal, there's all these things that go into it. But there's also, and while it might be necessary, there's all these other things that sometimes just don't make sense, and loopholes and red tape and everything. So
right, and you look at some of the fields. We'll take the field where we're at right now, Royal Oak Shrine. This is a relatively newer turf, but turf fields, as great as they are, you don't have to stripe them every day. They drain well. You can play at different times of year. A lot of different teams can play, but they have a life. There's a 10 to 12 year life before they have to be replaced. You don't have to worry about mowing the grass, but the turf fields do not last forever. But are there still injuries on the field? We talked about that in an early game. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure there is. And it has nothing to do with...
That rubber is like broken up old tires and stuff, and it has to be replaced or maintained as well.
That it does, as, it's just one of those things... Obviously, and if you're just joining us here, first off, we appreciate you stopping by. Hit that subscribe button, like us, and share us with your friends and family. But, when it talks about preventing injury, there are things you can do, and obviously picking the right field is always good. As this ball skips out for another corner kick.
This will be the fourth corner kick of the second half, 6 overall for Cabrini.
But, should those games be played, for Michigan Stars, be played indoors? I'm not going to... The answer to that is probably yes, as this ball played in. It headed down. Hawes will watch this one go back out for another corner. So third consecutive corner. I don't believe those games should be played indoors. And it's not because I don't think that the Michigan Stars Soccer Complex is a good complex to play soccer in, but those games are so fast and there's so much happening that you need more space. As this ball played in once again, third time's a charm. Not on this one. Is ball put right back in. Up goes Roth. She'll get ahead, and then that one's put in. And goal number 2 coming for number 15 in Caitlin Jabzeski. And just like that, it's 4-1, and that might just be the nail in the coffin in this one, Dan.
Yeah, 15 was kind of left open in the center part of the box. Caitlin Jabzeski was able to tuck one in, and that's a 4-1 advantage. We're down to 23 minutes and change. You're down 3 goals in the second half, and you're not generating much offense at all. Sacred Heart has yet to even attempt a single shot in the second half. So they are in danger. Allen Park Cabrini actually lost to Sacred Heart 3-2 back in mid-April. They're well on their way to getting their revenge here in the St. Anne Tournament Championship match.
So Jabzensky getting her second goal of the game. Remember, she scored a goal back in the 38th minute off a head.
That was the second goal just before the half. Gave them the lead.
So handball called there.
So Sacred Heart came out the first 5 minutes of the half, and they were controlling play, but they gave up a counterattack opportunity. But by and large, it's been all Allen Park Cabrini here in the second half.
That it has. So the scoreline we've been seeing for all 3 of these games so far no longer in play. So 3-1 in the first game, 3-1 in the second game. Now it's 4-1. And in the previous 2 games, what we did see too, Dan, is the home side winning both matchups. It looks like here the away side going to win this one. So a total of 10 goals scored here in these 3 games here. Sorry, 10 goals for the home side. It's been a total of 13 goals this afternoon.
In the second and third games, we've seen the top 2 seeds in their bracket advance to the championship game. Orchard Lake St. Mary's beat Macomb Lutheran North in the Cardinal Division Championship. Here we are, the top 2 seeds coming out of the intersectional division for the St. Anne tournament final. But game 1 was second-seeded Farmington Hills Mercy. They took on 4th-seeded Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood. But a lot of firsts today. This will be a first-time champion in the Catholic League tournament. In this game, the same setup was in the Cardinal Championship match with Orchard Lake St. Mary's, prevailing 3-1. Farmington Hills Mercy had won some Catholic League tournament finals back when there was only one tournament, but their three-time champion run was from 1991 to 1993, over 30 years ago. So 2 new champions will be crowned today, and another one came from a team that entered a long drought.
So official response from NISA in regards to tonight's game. Due to weather impacting travel and causing flight cancellations yesterday and continuing into today for Club de Leon FC, the match between Michigan Stars FC and Club de Leon FC is scheduled for tonight, Saturday, May 18th, 2024 at 7 p.m. will be rescheduled for a later date. That was a game that we were supposed to be covering here tonight on the Michigan Soccer Network. Allows us to take a breather here a little bit now. At the conclusion of this game, because Dan, we were supposed to literally pack up and skedoodle up the road here, not far, but up the road to Michigan Stars stadium, not a stadium, but at Barnwell Field at Romeo High School. But I'm seeing this flight cancellations and weather and all that kind of stuff just bring me back bad memories of Houston here.
Two weekends ago, you spent a little time in Memphis, a few days in Houston, never got to your final destination in Mexico.
I'm still bitter about that, by the way. Very bitter.
As anyone should be.
It's just not fair, Dan. It's just not fair. I did not get to Mexico.
I guess life isn't always fair, right?
Yeah, it's like welcome to what the real world is all about, right?
But the real world here is Alan Parker Brini, less than 20 minutes away from their first Catholic League St. Anne title. Command right now, 4-1 advantage over top-seeded Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. Trying to avenge a 3-2 loss from a month ago. Sacred Heart went 6-0-0 in the intersectional division. Alan Parker Brini was 5-1. They both made their way through the bracket to the conference tournament championship match here at Royal Oak Shrine. Brini having a great day. Out-possessing, out-shooting.
And Marsh is putting on the Jets. Looking to put this one in, and she makes the shot right there on Perez, but she stands tall.
Just the second shot on frame the whole game for Sacred Heart. Their first attempt, they were able to put one into the back of the net on a miscue in the Alan Parker Brini backfield.
It's good efficiency, though, if you think about it. 50%?
Yeah.
Only can convert more shots. Nally.
But they're going to have to create a lot more chances to get back into this contest as we're now closer to the 64th minute, just seconds away.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in here all afternoon and all morning here. We've been 3 games here today in the Catholic League Finals. Love our partnership and relationship with them. Getting in the first matchup, you saw Mercy getting their first championship in over 30 years in the Catholic League as they won 3-1 over Cranbrook Kingswood and the Cranes. And then in game number 2, a 3-1 victory for St. Mary's. And the Eaglets, their first ever championship in school history because their program is only 3 years in existence. And here we are in game number 3. Cabrini from Allen Park up 4-1 over Sacred Heart, looking to get their first ever St. Anne's championship in school history. So a lot of history being made here on this Saturday afternoon. While we're also here today, up in Saginaw is the MSYSA State Cup. That's taking place right now. The quarterfinals and semifinals this weekend up at the Saginaw Soccer Complex. Our MSYSA preview show as this ball played inside towards Marsh. And Martin. Now Marsh on the ball. She's get held up a little bit. The ball goes out. Our preview show is available right now on our YouTube channel. We previewed all the matches taking place this weekend. We'll do the exact same thing here in a couple weeks for State Cup Finals. Back up in Saginaw once again. So you go up there, and then you can come back, and then you go back up again. It's kind of like the old school back in the day when you'd take the trip up to your cottage up north. Just this isn't a cottage, it's soccer. We're doing that back in the day, going up into Caseville every weekend, I got this guy. I got to really give my compliments here to this. I had this coffee thing, Dan, that I poured coffee in at 7 o'clock this morning. My coffee is still hot.
Really?
In this coffee thing, I put two 10-ounce Keurig coffees in this thermos thing with my creamer, and it is still hot. And it's almost 4 o'clock, so that thing is holding strong. This ball goes out on this near side with just 15 minutes to go in this one.
I'm not personally a coffee drinker, but you mentioned coffee. I started thinking food. And then one of our
it was a hard tackle. Roth just took out.
One of our many advertisers is Granite City in Troy.
It is true.
One of these times I'm going to check out their burger night on Monday nights.
No better time than this Monday is. Then I got a phone call last night from a gentleman who played for the 1985 and 1986 Livonia Stevenson soccer team. Called me. His name is William Madden. All right, and he played on that team. They are a team that won back-to-back state championships. Their whole team is being honored being inducted into the Livonia Stevenson Hall of Fame.
So that would have been Lars Richter's area. Lars is the director of coaching for MLS Next with the Michigan Wolves. I think he was Mr. Soccer back in the fall of '86, if I stand.
He was. Lars Richter was a member of that team. And he called me. He goes, Mr. Turner, I'd love to invite you to the induction and be my guest on Monday night at the ceremony on Monday night. He lives in North Carolina. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I've never been to a Hall of Fame. I go, are you asking me to go there to cover it from the media standpoint? He's like, I think I am. I go, oh, okay. I go, well, maybe I got to get Dan Stickrat to come too. +1+1, is that possible? But yes, I have been invited to the Hall of Fame induction of Livonia Stevenson soccer team here on Monday night.
6 corner kick of the second half coming up for Alan Parker Brini.
So it is at the Italian-American goal. Look at this. As this one finds its way in the back of the net. I believe that was Glacier. It was. And just like that, it is raining goals here at Royal Oak Shrine High School. She has the brace as well. Now that's 2 braces on the afternoon.
Madeline Glacier took that corner kick. It got cleared out back towards her. She steps into the ball, left-footed shot, high shot, over the traffic in front of the goal into the far corner. And so Cabrini just starting to pull away. They have 5-1 advantage. Again, they had lost the regular season game to Bloomfield Hill Sacred Heart 3-2. And they are more than getting their revenge here. Saturday afternoon, Royal Oak Shrine, the 3rd game of the Catholic High School League tournaments. And this has been a great offensive display by the Monarchs. 5 goals.
So I was just about to read the flyer as that goal comes through. So Glacier with 2. Chebsneski with 2. And you've got Madeline Smith, who opened it up in the 17th minute with 1. But they are recognizing a Stevenson Athletic Hall of Fame athletic director Roger Freyer, football coach Jack Reardon, multi-sport athlete class of 1980 David Hall, swimmer class of 1987 a USA Olympic swimmer Sheila Tormina, and boys state soccer championship soccer teams 1985 and 1986.
I love how high schools, a lot of them are doing these Hall of Fames. I'm actually a member of my alumni at Rochester High School. I've been part of their Hall of Fame committee now for 4 years. It's a lot of fun talking about, athletes, not just from the last decade, but you can go back 30, 40, 50, 60 years. You research individuals, You get in touch with them or family members, trying to track people down because, that many years later, some of these people haven't even lived in Michigan a long time, but they had such great careers. And some of these athletes went on to have great careers in college at amateur level. There are sometimes athletes that, have pro careers in whatever sports they played at, but it's a lot of fun researching athletes. And so hats off, not just to what you talked about Lavonia Stevenson's Hall of Fame class, but to anybody anywhere that has been, nominated and inducted into the respective high school Hall of Fames.
Dan, I just got an email. I can't believe this, but I already have rankings for tomorrow already. And that's the first. I've never gotten rankings on a Saturday, so I am extremely happy about receiving rankings here. That's awesome. So, hats off to Division Chair. I'm not gonna name who though.
Okay.
So I think that'd be wrong. As we do announce the high school rankings here every single Sunday. Sometimes we do it live on the air when it's not Mother's Day and when I'm not on my way back from a trip.
Last week was Mother's Day. I was a little bit under the weather, so I apologize that we're unable to head in the studio last week, but we'll be back for the final.
Not live tomorrow night. We will not be live. We will be pre-recording this tomorrow night, and we're excited about that because it's going to be quick. It's going to be efficient. It's going to be thorough. It is possible to do all those things. I know it is. We appreciate you all stopping by here on this Saturday afternoon. Jonathan Turner alongside Dan Stickrett.
It's been part of a marathon day.
That it has.
A lot of fun, though. A lot of chance to see 6 teams I have not seen so far this year.
This ball put into the box. Out comes Pugh. So knock this one away.
And hats off to all the teams across the state of Michigan. If you've captured your regular season or conference tournament or overall conference championship over here the last week, it's close to 60 or so conferences across the state that will crown a champion here, if not already. And best of luck, because you got about approximately 445 schools that are set to enter the MHSAA tournament. I know there's a couple schools here and there that dropped their programs early in the year because of lack of numbers, and then there's another 30 or 40 schools that aren't members of MHSAA that have a girls soccer team as the sport continues to grow at that level.
So now another corner kick. Sorry, free kick coming in now.
Oh, you gave a penalty.
Oh, I called a penalty.
Is that a handball? I was watching this game, and it's like I never really saw him because there was a confusion. Like players on both sides were kind of wondering, like, what's the call?
So here we are. Oh, the penalty kick here now in the 72nd minute.
Looks like Madeline Glazer.
And she'll put that one home, and she'll get her third goal of the afternoon, and it's now 6-1.
Madeline Glazer, you can't stop her. You can only hope to contain her. She has come through with a hat trick, and that's pretty much going to do it as we get into the last 8 minutes of this game. And Alan Parker Brini in complete and total control, up 6-1 over Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. We've talked a couple times earlier. They lost to Sacred Heart earlier in the season, finished second to them in the intersectional division, but they have got their revenge today. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders this Saturday afternoon at Royal Oak Shrine.
So Glazer with the hat trick. Again, Caitlin Jebzesny. I'm struggling with that name today. I don't know why. Jebzesny still screwing it up. Either way, she's got 2 goals. And Madeline Smith has the other goal. So 3 separate players scoring 6 goals here in this one. And we went from 13 total goals here today to 15 total goals on the afternoon from all 3 games.
And Glazer provided the third fifth and sixth goals, so she has all three of her goals coming here in the second half. Cabrini led 2-1 at the break. And it's been all Monarchs here in the second half. With 4 goals here, we still have about 7 minutes and change remaining in this contest.
Getting ever so closer, Dan, to 5,000 subscribers. We're at 4,440. Just getting ever so closer. Just 560 shy of our 5,000 goal. Another shot, this one from distance, just goes wide of that near post. Coming up here later tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we'll have the UPSL Game of the Week. Don't forget, check out our news site of MSN News on the MichiganSoccerNetwork.com website. To learn more about all things soccer here in the great state of Michigan, everything from the youth game all the way up to the professional game. We cover everything and in between. Really, since the opening whistle, Cabrini has been taking it to this Sacred Heart side.
Yeah, other than the first 5 minutes of the second half, Sacred Heart did come out, combined well on some passes, was moving the ball around, and then they turned the ball over. Cabrini came down, scored the goal, and since then, the second half has just been dominated by Allen Park Cabrini.
Put up and over. Got a beautiful afternoon. Want to thank our crew, fantastic crew here today. As we'll be at the end, the conclusion of this game, we will make our way, pack things up, and make our way getting ready for our next matchup here tonight. Michael Battles is our camera operator on location here at Royal Oak Shrine High School.
So we're in the 77th minute of the inaugural Catholic High School League St. Anne Tournament Championships. Allen Park Cabrini up comfortably 6-1 over Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart. This is the third and final game of the afternoon. The Catholic League, which is holding 3 different tournaments this year for the first time in their league history, kind of support the growth of girls soccer, which is continuing to grow year after year and decade after decade across the state.
So a corner kick coming up here for Sacred Heart. All put in, still kind of loose, and now cleared away.
I know the Catholic League, they pick an all Catholic team and an all division team. I don't know if they've ever done like a tournament MVP or if they do a league MVP by the 3 divisions.
This one shot towards maybe more of a cross, possibly.
But there is an MVP of this game, Madison Glazer with the hat trick, all coming in the second half as Allen Park Cabrini has been able to pull away after a 2-1 halftime advantage. The Cabrini defense has been very solid in this contest. Sacred Heart's only had 3 shots and 2 on frame the entire game. So Cabrini has a 15-3 total shots advantage. 8-2 on goal. 8-3 on corner kicks. This has been Allen Park Cabrini's great day as they're just minutes away from claiming their first conference tournament championship in the Catholic High School League. And they'll join Orchard Lake St. Mary's as first-time tournament champions. St. Mary's won that second game today, the Cardinal Championship, 3-1 over Macomb Lutheran North. And as we talked about earlier, Farmington Hills Mercy, first Catholic League Tournament Championship since 1993. They had won 3 in a row back then. And the Marlins prevailed as a second seed, beating 4-seeded Bloomfield Hills Cranbrook Kingswood in the first game this morning.
Game almost over here from Morello Shrine High School as we're moments away from Cabrini capturing their first ever St. Anne championship, as Dan has mentioned here a couple of times.
We're down inside. Looks like the last minute of play. The referee has looked at his watch a couple times.
We are under the last minute of play here for sure.
They do not play stoppage time at the high school level. Just 2 40-minute halves. They stop the clock for goals and for injuries.
And there is the final whistle, and Allen Park Cabrini captures the 2024 St. Anne's Championship here in the Catholic League.
What an offensive performance by the Monarchs. Again, 15-3 on shots in this game. And they were able to put 5 shots on frame in the second half, 4 which got into the back of the net. As the Monarchs pulled away over to the Gazelles. Prevailed 6-1. Again, they lost 3-2 to Bloomfield Hills Sacred Heart a month ago. And now their first ever Catholic League Tournament Championship is in the record books. So congratulations to Allen Park Cabrini, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and Farmington Hills Mercy, your 3 winners of the 3 separate Catholic High School League tournaments for 2024.
That's right. The final score here is 6-1 in favor of Allen Park Cabrini. We'll talk about scoring here in just a second. I want to thank everyone for tuning in here today for all 3 of the games we did. All these games available on demand on our YouTube channel, the Michigan Soccer Network, as well as on our website. Check back for the recaps of this game along with the other games here we did this weekend on our MichiganSoccerNetwork.com website. Dan Stickrat, Jonathan Turner on the call here today. Michael Battles was our camera operator out there at Royal Oak Shrine High School. Their goal scorers in the 17th minute, Madison Smith opened up the scoring here for Cabrini. And then in the 38th minute, Caitlin Jabzensky getting the second goal of the half. In this game as well, the lone goal coming from Magnolia Marsh, that was back in the first half as well. And then in the second half, it was all Allen Park in the 47th, it was Madeline Glazer. In the 58th, it was Jabzinski again getting her second goal. In the 68th, it was Madeline Glazer. And then her third and final goal, her hat trick, in the 72nd minute to make it 6-1. And that is your final score and scoring here from Royal Oak Shrine High School. From all of us here at the Michigan Soccer Network, have a great rest of your Saturday and your weekend. And don't worry, we got one more game coming your way here later this evening right here on the Michigan Soccer Network. So long, everybody, and have a great rest of your Saturday.